Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? Psychology Eats is here to help you. What's eating you? Woo. And you. Hey, everyone. So, you read the title. Let's talk about an update with me and what's happening with me and why I'm in this room right now with this earth behind me. Well, transitioning. And I've shared with you guys before, that I spent over 20 years as a therapist. Well, over almost 30 years now in the field of human services. And under that umbrella, I've done many different jobs and worked with many different populations. But a big bulk of that time was spent doing therapies, which during that time, I loved it. I love being a therapist and feeling like you're helping people and bringing people from point A to point B, C, D, E, whatever. Helping them make progress and, helping people deal with trauma that they may have experienced in their childhood. And so that's always been, I've always enjoyed it. But there were times during my career, like anybody else who will tell you who's a therapist or a psychologist, psychiatrist, social worker, anybody in human services, there are times when you feel burnt out. And so for those times, we need to take mental health breaks. You go on vacation or whatever. Maybe you even, step out of the field, do something else, come back when you're rejuvenated and you feel like you can do it. So, even right before the pandemic happened, I had already started transitioning away from doing psychotherapy. And I knew toward the end of my career before I retired that I was going to move into academics. And I wanted to teach psychology to the new students, new people, students who wanted to come into the field, which is what I've been doing in the last 10 years. I've been an adjunct professor teaching, no, it's 9 years. This is 9 years. I've been an adjunct professor teaching psychology courses, which I love. Well, you know how colleges are set up. We have, spring, summer, winter, fall semesters. And during the times when I wasn't teaching, I would do psychotherapy or, I've had other positions that I've had, to work during the times that I'm not teaching because I'm not full-time. I'm not a full-time adjunct. So, anywho, so that would be, my way of continuing to work during the all seasons or whatever of teaching. So then, when the pandemic hit and counseling went for telehealth, which is, doing your counseling over the phone, over computer. Me being, old school therapist, I've thought like, no, I'm not feeling this. I kind of did it, in the beginning. I was still working with a few clients in the beginning of the pandemic, but for me, it just didn't resonate with me to do therapy that way. And I know for many people, it works. People have learned to transition into doing therapy that way from the counselor side and from the client side, and it works. Because, the way this C19 is, it may not, it's not safe maybe to even be in a small office setting, because most of our offices are not huge offices. You're basically like right there next to the client. So it makes sense that a lot of agencies are still doing telehealth, even though we can go back into the offices. And so I knew that was something that I was not interested in doing that. But like I've been doing for the last 10 years, I've always worked, I've had other positions while I was, still teaching. And so I thought like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Honestly, I just really, I had some things that I know I don't want to do anymore as far as being in this field. I don't want to work, and I've done all of this. I don't want to work in an institution as far as like a prison or anything, like a halfway house or a rehab. I don't want to, I know I don't want to do that. I know I didn't want to go back to the office or telehealth. I knew I didn't want to do that. So I was just like, damn, like, what can I do in between, like, when I'm not, teaching on campus or whatever. And so then I was like, maybe I can go back to, I can be a substitute teacher. That way I can still, I can work, between semesters. I only really teach a couple of days out of the week. So I always had like 3 or 4 days off. Sometimes I would work, sometimes I wouldn't. But anyway, so I was like, well, I have these days off, maybe I can, maybe I'll just go back and I'll substitute. Rewind back in my career when I was probably like 23 years old, still in Jersey, still at the college where I got my degrees. I was a substitute teacher, and it was so simple. As soon as you had 60 college credits, you could be a substitute teacher. So I remember going to the Board of Ed in the town where I lived, said, I got 60 college credits. Here's my transcript. I would like to be a substitute teacher, please. And they were like, okay, girl. And boom, I was a substitute teacher. Well, today, trying to be a substitute teacher is, you got to go through some hurdles to be able to do that. You got to get an emergency teacher certification. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I was like, dang, I thought all I would have to do was like call the Board of Ed and be like, when you want me to start, I can be your substitute teacher. But anyway, so it took a little bit to get everything in order. And so that's what I've been doing, being a sub. And I don't mind it. A lot of people are like, girl, that's dangerous. You gotta get your mask, right? But, I like it because it's flexible. Like if I don't want to work, I don't work. Everything is all through an app now. So you like sign up for jobs that you want, the school you want, like, the class that you may be in. So it's way different than the way it was 30 years ago when I was a substitute teacher. It's crazy. Here's the real crazy part. The money is about the same. The money is about the same. And I was like, dang, I was making that back 30 years ago. I know y'all lying right now. So it's not a lot of money at all. But at this point in my life, I'm good. You know what I mean? Financially, I'm straight. I'm good. It's not. I've got myself in a position, and I think at my age where I don't have a lot of debt. And so, it works for me to be able to do this. But it's funny, like how life like brings you back, like a full circle moment. I knew 20 years ago, how I wanted my career to be. I knew I didn't want to be stuck in one job. I knew I was never going to like go work and be a county worker and do that for 30 years, retire and be good with that. I knew I wasn't going to do that. And then thinking about my life, moving and transitioning, and getting older, where I wanted to see my life end up at as far as, like career wise and all of that stuff. It's like where I'm at today, I'm good. I'm good. Like I really know I did everything that I wanted to do in this field. I know I've helped a lot of people. I know I've changed a lot of people's lives. I know I've encouraged people. I know I've kept people from wanting to end their life and move forward in their life. I know I've done that. As long, and also even being in this field, and what clients gave to me, you know what I mean? People that I've worked with who have encouraged me through their life, like through them still being able to get up and move and do what they needed to do, although they were faced with so much adversity, really gave me strength, when I hit bumps in the road in my life and I needed, some strength to move forward and stuff, and think about like, oh my gosh, she did it and she had less resources or no resources in comparison to what I have. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I'm still, I'm enjoying doing YouTube. I enjoy doing YouTube, but I do want to put out more content about psychology and less about the foolishness, which is why, I started the other channel, which I ain't been over there and did anything on yet, but I am. Because, it's, I know, just in real life, how I've moved and how I've been, been able to help people. I want to be able to do that on this platform and other platforms. I've just been having fun with TikTok and doing some of that stuff. But honestly, moving forward, I do want to have that platform over at Psychology Live Show, where I'm really giving people information about mental health and all that great stuff regarding mental health and mental illness and medication management and just dealing with trauma and moving forward in your life, stuff like that. So, yeah, but yeah, because I've been kind of struggling, like, damn, what I'm going to talk about on Psychology Eats? Like, I'm really not even following the foolishness like that. To me, everybody that we've talked about, on this, in this sector, is it looks like people are in a place in their life where they're just trying to figure it out and kind of move forward themselves in this sector and trying to do different things with their channels and stuff like that, which is great. I don't know. I think everybody in this sector, I think the viewers need to get ready for this transition that a lot of the channels are probably going to make, just because the old content about the same old people is getting stale. And they're just going to move, continue to progress and do other things in this sector. But that's kind of my update of where I am and what I'm doing in my life, and as far as this channel and continuing to grow it. Now we're gonna still get into the psychology, the tea, and the drama, of course, as it happens. But I ain't gonna be over here making up shit to have something to talk about either. But that's it. That's all. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see. I think today I'm a math teacher. It's so funny because every day you're a different teacher, and I always tell the kids, like, they're like, can you help me with this math problem, 5x over 2 5x a b c and d? And I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I study the brain. I teach psychology. I'm not gonna be able to do that. They're like, eh. So that's been funny because you know, math is totally different now. So, you know, anybody over 40, you don't know this math. 40, what I'm talking about, anybody over 20, you don't know this math. So, I will keep you updated on that, of course. But yes. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.